Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Pixel. In today's video for the simulator series, we will be finishing up the selling system. Before we begin, make sure you join my Discord server. The link will be in the description. Alright, let's begin. First, you're going to go ahead and open up your game. Remember, in the last episode, we did work on the coin display as well as the backpack display. But the only way to reset your bag would be to change the data store name and reset your data. But now we're going to create the selling system so that we can efficiently turn our bag into coins. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to create a frame inside our UI. This frame is basically going to be used to display the fact that your bag is full. When your bag has reached maximum capacity, this message will pop up and it'll give you an option to either go to the store or sell your items. Although in this tutorial we will not have a shop, we'll talk more about it in the next episode, which will be focusing on the shop, the basic shop, or basically an upgrade system. We're going to name this storage full, and we're also going to insert a few things. We're going to insert 2 text labels. Actually, before I do that, I'm just going to grab the color from here. Oops. I'm going to give my frame some color so it can stand out. Alright, we're gonna have 1 label for the title, 1 label for the bio. Alright, so for the title, you could just put it along the top. The title is basically just gonna display the main message that your storage is full. So I'm going to make it scaled. I'm going to change it to cartoon, make it white. Let me make this bigger. Okay. Alright. So the storage is full. We got that. Alright. And then we're going to put this in the middle. Alright. And then this is just going to have a message saying whatever you want to put. I'm just going to put either sell your items or upgrade your bag. So we have that. I'm actually gonna make this like, alright, and then we're going to insert a button. This button is going to be basically the button that takes you to the sell area, which we're going to create. So I'm just going to make a gray button or a white button, whatever. Could do whatever you like. Alright, just gonna name it yeah, I'm gonna have to leave this one. I should just make it like red. Okay, I'll just make the button red. Alright, and then I'm just gonna name that cell. Alright, now we got our sell button. Alright, and then the last thing, or actually, we're gonna name this sell button before we move on. Alright, and then the last thing, we're going to insert a local script. Alright, now we have that. And before we start scripting for that, head over to your starter pack, go inside of your coin, go into the tool script, and you should have left a note stating that the storage is full. This note is what we're going to use to display this frame right here. So make sure this is entitled storage full with the capital S and a capital F, or it will not work. And after this else, we're going to type if player UI dot storage full dot visible equals false, then if dbounce equals false, then dbounce equals true. Player UI dot storage full dot visible equals true. We're gonna put a wait, you know, for our dbounce, and then we're gonna set it back to false. So I'm just gonna refresh your memory so you know what this script is even doing. So when the tool is activated, basically means when you click, it's going to check if our current value is less than the storage value, which means if our backpack is not full, then it's gonna first of all put our dbounce on and then fire our server, giving it our strength, which basically means how many points or bag points it's gonna give you. And then the else here represents else. So if this is not true, else, if it's not true, then we do this. And this is checking to see if this is visible or not. So it's most of the time it will not be visible, so that's going to continue. Turn on our dbounce, and then it's going to set it to true. So now that we have that, we should be good. But there is one more thing that we have to do that I kind of forgot about. Make a small little button that we're going to be using for the exit button. So like to actually exit out of here in case you don't want to sell. So you can put it like that if you want. And then we're just going to name this close button. Alright. That should be good. So this will actually display the frame, the script that we just did. It's going to display this frame once we reach maximum capacity. So if we disable this, and it should work, the frame is not going to work, but it should appear. Yeah, so you click, it appears. We can't do anything. So alright, and now we're going to type some things for our storage thing. Before we also begin, again, make sure that you do have a remote event titled teleport to shop as well as items sold. We will be using these in today's episode to work on the selling system. So we're going to create some variables. Hope you guys remember what variables are. Remember, we're setting a name or a value or something. We're setting it onto a name. So this just makes it easier to call later in a script. So we're sell button is going to represent the actual sell button. It's just easier to write this way since we don't have to write all of this in our script. We can just write sell button. So that's basically what variables are for. We're going to create another one named close button. Make sure that it's named exactly the same. If your sell button has a capital S and a capital B, make sure it's here too. It's not it's always cap sensitive. Scripting is so very cap sensitive. I've gotten so many messages where I've helped people and it turns out that they didn't capitalize like one letter and it messes up your whole script. That's just a habit that we have to get into. We're going to create another variable which is going to represent our local player. And then we're going to create some variables so we can access the remote event. So we're going to create one for the replicated storage, the remote events folder in replicated storage, and then the teleport to shop remote event. So remote events dot teleport to shop. Make sure this is the same name as this here. So now we're going to create a function. Sell button dot mouse button one click connect with a capital C function 2 parentheses hit enter. It should autofill like this for you, and this fires when you click the sell button. You can put a note there for yourself so you know if you want to look back on it later. So it's going to make our frame visible. You can add a weight. I recommend adding like a weight 0.5. and then do teleport to shop fire server. So it's going to make this frame invisible, and then it's going to fire this remote event, which we're going to code in a second, to actually teleport the player. And then we're going to do the same thing for the close button, except that it won't fire the server. Oh, this should be capital. If you ever get an error like that, make sure you check over your things. You know, that's the scripts, the game. There's things in this thing that are in Studio that help you find errors. The next series that I have planned will most likely be a basics for Roblox and whatnot, which I will go over and teach you guys how to diagnose an error in your scripts. It's very important to know how to do that as a developer, or else you're gonna stumble across a lot of errors that you should be able to fix. Alright, now we're going to actually create the cell button. So go over to model or home, and there should be a part button. It inserts a part. Scroll down, make sure it's anchored. You can turn can collide off so you can walk through it. And you know, you can just resize it how you like it. To have a better resize, you can go to model and change this to 0.25. It automatically is at 1, and it'll move on a grid like this, which you don't want. It won't allow you to make it smaller. You can't go any smaller than that. So if you change it to 0.25, you can make it as small as you want. It's just a good scale. Alright, I'm going to make this a nice green color. Alright, you can also go ahead and click this spawn button over here in the model section. You can just drag it over here so you know where to spawn. This part, you just spawn on it. If you have multiple of them, it will just basically pick a random one automatically for you to spawn at. So if we click test, we spawn. Alright, it closed our frame. You don't really have to test that right now, but I just wanted to make sure. Alright, so it should just close this. So this just closes it. This fires the server, but we don't have anything detecting if the server was fired, so there's nothing that it's gonna happen. Alright, before we begin with the script and our server script service to handle the teleporting, make sure you name it cell button with a capital S and a capital B, or else the script might not work. So go ahead and insert a regular script into server script service, and you can name this teleport handler. You can name it whatever you want. The name doesn't really matter. We're going to create the same variables that we created before. We're going to get the service replicated storage, so it's going to actually get this. It's just a precaution in case something happens. You know, we're getting the service, making sure that we're allowed to even see the service, whatever. So then we're going to get our remote events folder again, replicated storage.remote events. And then sold is going to be remote events dot item sold. And then we're gonna set debounce to false, so that there is a oh wait, no, I think I'm typing the wrong script, guys. Oof. Alright, so actually put this script into your cell button. This is going to be the cell handler. I wasn't reading my notes right, sorry. So this script is actually going to handle the item selling. So we're going to create a function that's going to fire when this part is touched. Oh, right. So in these little parentheses, we usually put nothing, but in this one, when you're doing touched, whatever you put in here is going to represent what touched the object. So you always should put hit. It's just obvious. It just lets you know that it's representing what hit. So hit.parent equals basically, this basically just means what hit it. So the parent that hit this, basically, yeah, it's kind of like hard to explain, but yeah, it just represents what touched the object. So we're going to use this if hit.parent find first child humanoid, then a humanoid is always going to be in a Roblox character. So this just makes sure, because this can fire if anything touches this. It just sitting on the base plate can fire it off many times. So we're going to check if it's a humanoid. Then we're gonna do local player equals game.players get player from character hit dot parent. This is kind of self-explanatory. It's going to get the player from the character, and the character is hit dot parent. So then we're gonna check if the player dot player stats dot current value dot value. I saw a lot of errors with that. Oops, this should be a dot. Is less or is greater than 0. Then we can continue. We can continue with our script. So I was gonna check if the bag, like we actually have stuff in our bag. It's not just 0, so it's more than 0. All right, and if debounce, we're gonna do our if debounce, so we can, you know, have a debounce. We're gonna check if it's false. If it's false, you know, should know how this works by now. Debounce equals true, and then we're gonna fire the client. So this is very similar to fire server, but it's going to fire client. So that's what remote events do. You can use the client to send messages to the remote event, which will be passed on to the server, and vice versa, like I said. So that's going to fire the client, but we also need to make sure that it knows what player. So we're going to type player, and then we're going to do player.playerstats.current value dot value. And then we're going to do player.playerstats.coins.value equals player.playerstats.coins.value plus player.playerstats.current value.value. So I think I explained it in a previous video, but we're basically setting this value to the same value plus what's in our current bag. All right, sorry about that. So hold on, I'm just adjusting my microphone. So we're gonna set the current value, or the value of the current value, which basically means what's in our bag at the moment. We're gonna set that to 0. We're just gonna put a weight without anything in there. Without anything in there, there's like a set weight, so it's just gonna wait. I'm not sure what the exact value is, but I saw it somewhere. It's really short, but at least there's a weight. Without a weight, it would just be stupid. So you can change it to 0.25 if you want, but I just put a little weight. That should be it. All right, now we're actually going to create the script that's going to handle the teleporting. So to save us some scripting time, go back to this here. I put the cell handler in the wrong thing. Make sure it's in the cell button. Go into this, and we're going to copy the first 2 variables. Hit Control C, go back to teleport handler and paste it in, or you can just type it in. And then we're going to do local teleport to shop equals remote events dot teleport to shop. All right, and then we're going to do teleport to shop dot on server event connect function player. So you remember, like I said, so it fires the server. So it's going to set off an event on the server. Oops, wrong script. And then it's going to detect when that event is occurring, and then it's going to get the player that set it off. So then we're going to do local character equals player dot character, and then we're going to do character dot humanoid root part dot position. Instead of doing that, I think we should just do move to. Move to just basically does it better. So we're going to try that first. So we're going to do move to gameplace dot cell button dot position plus vector 3 dot new. Make sure there's 2 here. Make sure the parentheses look like this. And then we're going to do 0, 0, 0, and then change the middle 0 to 1. And that should make us spawn 1 above it. That may or may not work. Alright. Oh, actually worked. Alright, so we got our coins. So we go up, 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 up. We hit sell. After a second, it teleports us. We can just step over it if we want to. Alright. So I guess that's just better for you guys. Alright. I guess that's the final script. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know it was shorter than most videos, but that should be it. Thank you all for watching. Make sure you comment, like, and subscribe for more content, and I'll see you guys in the next video.